So let me begin with sharing a picture of you too. This one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's begin. I just wanted to start the session asking you the reason why you decided to start 57 Chocolate.
So the reason we decided to start 57 Chocolate is mainly because we realized that Ghana is one of the main producers of cocoa. We were actually once the largest producer of cocoa, but now Ivory Coast is the largest. We're the second largest. So Ghana is very much known for its cocoa, but throughout the world, it's not known for its chocolate. Oftentimes, when you think of chocolate, you think about Swiss chocolate, you think about chocolate that's found in other parts of Europe and other parts of the States. And, you know, we lived in Switzerland, and I remember visiting a factory before moving back to Ghana. And this was before the idea of 57 was born. And visiting one of Switzerland's largest factories to come to realize that most of the beans that they use in Swiss chocolate are actually from Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire. And so it kind of hit me there that, okay, why is it that we grow the main resource for chocolate making, but we don't actually produce a lot of chocolate? And that's one thing that we decided to come back and change, because the truth is there's value in cocoa, but there's value in a finished product. And Ghana has for so long just traded cocoa as a commodity in its raw form without adding any value to it. And we want to change that. So that's why we got started.
That's perfect. That's perfect. So you wanted to change the current situation so that in the future, cocoa produced in Ghana will be processed and manufactured and added value and maybe a final product which will be consumed by your works in Ghana.
That is absolutely correct.
And 57 Chocolate. I know why you named the chocolate 57 Chocolate, but that would be very great opportunity, I think, for us to share the story behind your brand name.
So 57 Chocolate is short for 1957, which is actually Ghana's independence. And we decided to name it 1957, or 57 for short, because of the spirit that it was behind the independence era. So during the independence years, so from 57 into the 60s, during Kwame Nkrumah, Ghana's first president's rule, what a lot of people don't know is that Ghana was actually very industrious. We were producing a lot, we were manufacturing a lot. We had textile industries, we had a thriving dairy industry, which is no longer in existence today. A lot of the textiles we produce now, or that are found in Ghana, are actually not even produced by Ghanaians or produced in Ghana. We had a thriving sugar industry. We had a thriving tomato processing plants. And today, in 2020, a lot of those are non-existent. A lot of those don't exist anymore. And so in 57 represents the fact that, hey, back then, Ghanaians knew that as Ghanaians, we could produce and manufacture with our own resources, add value to them, and consume them and make them valuable even on a global market. So it's sort of to inspire a reawakening of the need to manufacture, because the truth is, if we want to see Ghana develop and Africa at large develop, the main key is actually producing and not importing. But nowadays, Ghana imports almost everything. We import chocolate, we import tomatoes that can actually be grown here, we import toothpicks when there's plenty of bamboo. So we want to inspire people to use our local resources and add value to our local resources and stop relying heavily on imports.
It's very insightful that you shared actually the facts that, well, like over 50 years ago, there is a manufacturing capacity in the country, which is no longer actually, which is really unfortunate. But what do you think is a reason that those manufacturing capacity was not lost, but no longer actually in the country at this point in time. What is the reason behind? Of course,
I
it's
think
really
that's
tricky.
a very complex question. It has to do with, I think, history, politics. There's a lot. I think there's a lot of reasons behind it. But I think that I think sometimes I think free trade is good, but free trade doesn't benefit a country that's not manufacturing anything. Do you get it? So it then means that other countries are just sending all their goods here, but we're not sending anything back. So I think I can't really I think it's a very complex answer as to why. I think it could also be a change of mindsets, but I do believe that now in 2020, and we moved back to Ghana in 2014. I do believe that now there's a shift in some people's mindsets that, okay, it's time for us to wake up again. It's time for us to see that we have so much here in this country. And it's time for us to put our minds to work and put our hands to work and create with what we have. And in so doing, we are able to create jobs.
Right.
We are able to create wealth in the country. So I think right now is a great time to be in Ghana and to start, investing in what we have here.
Great. Well, you mentioned a little bit that you came back to Ghana in 2014, but can you please let us know of your personal story as well, when you were born, raised, and how you spent time in Ghana or outside, and why do you decided to come back to Ghana after some time?
Okay, so I grew up in Senegal. We both grew up in Senegal. We lived a very international background. We grew up in Senegal, but we also studied in the States as well. And we both worked in the States for some time, and both Priscilla and I also worked in Switzerland. And for me, I can speak to for myself. I've always had the heart. I've always known that I would be in Africa doing something. I didn't know whether it would be Senegal or Ghana at the time. So we spent a lot of time outside Ghana, but even while we were in Senegal and even while we were in Switzerland, we would always come back here for a visit, to visit family, to visit friends. But for me, I always knew that the final place would be Ghana. And I think it was when I was working in Switzerland, I began to get quite restless. Just being in front of a laptop all day. I was working in the international development field, which is great. But I realized that I wanted to be doing something more hands-on. I wanted to be doing something more hands-on, and that's when my dad actually really encouraged me to say, hey, I'll be retiring soon. Maybe you should think about moving back to Ghana and starting up a business. And that really sort of made me feel like, okay, I think it's time to start moving back.
So it was actually your father who encouraged you and Priscilla to think about going back to Ghana and launching your own businesses.
Yes, that's correct. It was. Yes,
Wow.
he and my mom are very business savvy. Yeah.
And they are both from Ghana originally?
They're both from Ghana. Yes.
Great. So how often were you, visiting Ghana during your childhood and while you were away in Switzerland, Senegal, or the US?
It varied. There wasn't a specific pattern, but sometimes, depending on where we were, it could be once a year, or sometimes maybe every few years. But we definitely had to come back. When we moved back here, we had to adjust. We had to readjust ourselves because we were used to living in Switzerland, which is very different from living in Ghana. So we sort of had to relearn the context of, doing life in Ghana, doing business in Ghana, the way things work here as well.
So coming back in 2014, how long did it take for you to actually finally settle down and set up your business and set up 57 Chocolate?
So we moved back here in August 2014, and we made our first batch of chocolate in January 2016. So that's almost 2 years, about a year and a half roughly. So it took us a while. And a lot of that was because our background is not in chocolate making. Both of us studied international relations. Priscilla studied with a focus in food security. I focused on social justice. And so we really didn't know anything about cocoa and chocolate. I loved eating chocolate, but I didn't really know anything about what it took to actually make it. And so that year and a half was really spent reading, taking classes, visiting the field, and just understanding all that we know about chocolate, speaking to other people in the industry, and just really learning. That was really our learning period, and it was a valuable period because from 2016 we knew enough to start. And from there, we're still learning. We're forever learners. So from there, we've continued to grow.
So in 1.5 years before you set up the factory and made the first batch ever as 57 Chocolate, you spent some time in the farm, building a relationship with the farmers or meeting with people who have experience in chocolate making.
Exactly. And just learning, reading books, taking courses online, and just learning as much as we could.
I remember you sometime talked about your experience staying with the chocolate maker's house in, was it Switzerland? To learn, we learned how
I did some learning in Switzerland, and I also did some learning in the UK, and I did stay with a chocolate maker. It was a couple who were making chocolate from bean to bar in the UK. They were called Doble and Bignell, and I stayed with them for about a month. We had just emailed, and I shared with them the vision of what we wanted to do with 57, and asked if they offered any training or if I could come internship with them, and they said yes immediately, and it was a phenomenal experience, and we were so blessed to have met them and are so grateful that they were willing to share their knowledge and to train us, because a part of why we're here today is because they believed in the vision and wanted to help.
Sounds great, and it was, I think, the fate for you to meet with that couple. And I wonder, is it before January 2016, or is it after you started to produce chocolate?
We met before, so I met them in 2015.
2015.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
Yes.
Well, it's a long journey, but it's like you and Priscilla were destined to set up 57 and to be ready for the production by January 2016.
Exactly.
So setting up the factory in 2016 January, how many people did you have at your factory at the beginning?
No one. It was just the two of us. It was just two of us for, I think, probably the first year or at least 6 months. I would say first year. It was just the two of us. And it was definitely a lot of hard work. We were actually just doing everything out of one room. But then as the orders began to grow, as people began to, take chances with, this new sort of chocolate maker, they weren't really sure, but as they tried our product, and initially we actually started doing weddings first. And so we would have our chocolates as wedding gifts. And so people would be at a wedding and see our chocolate, and then they would also want it at their wedding. So that's how it gradually began to spread. And then we began to grow. And I think it was either late 2016 or early 2017, we hired our first person. And initially back then we were just doing made to order. So we weren't necessarily keeping inventory. But then we grew, as we were growing, we realized, okay, there's a need for us to keep inventory. We can't, it's not sustainable just to do made to order.
Right.
And so we gradually grew, and today we have about 10 employees, 10 people that we employ, which is phenomenal. We have an amazing team which enables us to do what we do today. And we have a team that's growing and a team that's a forever learning team. So we're always striving to improve, always striving to learn new things, and always striving for excellence.
Sounds great. So out of 10, how many people are actually engaged directly in the chocolate making? And I think I remember you were saying some people are actually in charge of the marketing or the media or the branding.
Yeah, and
designing.
like the branding and the packaging. So I would say it's about half. So about 5 are engaged directly in the chocolate making. But some people float in between both. And others are focused more on the graphic side, on more of like the packaging, and sort of like the admin work as well.
Right, right. Well, actually, 57 Chocolate is very well known as its beautiful design, right? I wanted to show the picture of the package. This one. So every bar chocolate of yours have different pictures on the surface. Can you tell us a little bit about why you decided to put these kind of, pictures and what these pictures actually represent?
So on our packaging, you'll see different pictures. They'll either be monuments, like for example, the first one you see here is Makola Market, which is in Ghana. It's perhaps Accra's largest market. And the last one you see is Lake Volta, and it's Ghana's largest lake. And so we wanted to do something different. We didn't want just a brand that sort of looked like any other chocolate. We wanted a brand that was uniquely African, that could speak to Ghana's culture. So not only do we have different monument sites on our packaging, but we also have different things that represent our culture. So for example, on one of our packagings, we have a Kente Weaver. Kente is very popular in Ghana. Ghana is known for its Kente, which is a cloth that is very luxurious and commonly worn by, the chiefs or the queens. And it's just very beautiful. And it's come to be a big representative of Ghana. So we wanted to show people different parts of our culture. We wanted that when people had our chocolate, not only were they getting a taste of Ghana, but they were also learning about what makes Ghana beautiful, what makes Ghana Ghana, that even our clients can be in the States, but in having our chocolate, they can learn about Ghana's history. They can learn, it's sort of like taking them on a journey through Ghana with them out actually having to travel.
Right.
And if you look at our packaging, when you actually open the packaging, you can read about everything that is on the front cover. So it'll tell you what on the front cover when you open our packaging.
So the 57 Chocolate Bar is not actually only sending people chocolate, but also coming along with the history, art, culture of the country, which proudly represent the nation with spirit, right?
Yes, absolutely.
I wanted to show a picture of the chocolates inside as well to the audience. This is how the chocolate bar looks like. And also wanted to share like a little ones which have some
adinkra symbol on them.
So can you tell us a little bit about these symbols as well?
So the adinkra symbols, they're symbols known to the Akan tribe of Ghana, and they have different meanings. They're sort of like symbols or images that sort of represent different proverbs. So for example, the purple one you see it's actually my favorite symbol. It's called Aya, and it means resourcefulness. So I really like that. And the top one is a very popular one that you see almost everywhere in Ghana. The light brown one, the sort of like coffee brown one, is Jie Nyame, which means the supremacy of God. So they have different meanings, and it's a huge part of the culture here. You see Adinka symbols on almost everything. You can see Adinka symbols on textiles,
Right.
and they're just really beautiful. And we wanted to share that part of Ghana's culture world.
Beautiful. How people react to those Adinkra symbols when they open the package, they find it immediately. And what do you think that reaction has been given so far from both Ghanaian folks and non-Ghanaian folks?
We have a very positive reaction. People always, I think people enjoy receiving them. What we've seen is that a lot of people sort of take them as a personal message to themselves. Because it's not like, we have about 12 symbols and there's, I think, over 100, and we're gradually working on getting all of them. But when somebody opens a box, we've seen that people sort of like saying, okay, this is for me. Like, I'm being told to be more resourceful, or, you know, they sort of take them as like they personalize them almost. So I think a lot of people have a lot of fun with them.
That sounds perfect, actually. So it's like a message, not only like just a gift of chocolate.
Exactly.
That's actually romantic, right?
Yeah.
Pretty much. Okay, so I also wanted to, should we maybe share the clip that you sent to me earlier that shows how bar chocolates are produced? Let me just play it now.
Yeah.
So what is this bar chocolate? The ingredient is almond and salt, I think.
Almond and sea salt. That's actually my favorite bar.
Is it a dark chocolate?
It's milk chocolate. It's a dark milk chocolate. So meaning there's more cocoa in it. So our milk chocolate is 55% milk chocolate. Most milk chocolates can be as little as 10% or 30% cocoa. And so this milk chocolate is 55. So it's very high in cocoa, which gives it a more of a darker taste, but it's still milk chocolate.
Can you tell a little bit about the range, the kind of chocolate bars you have right now?
So we currently have 6 signature flavors, and those 6 signature flavors come with different inclusions. So we have our 73% dark chocolate, we have our 55% milk chocolate, we have our plain white chocolate, and we have our hibiscus or bisap white chocolate. And bisap is a drink commonly known drink in West Africa and also actually in Jamaica, made with hibiscus leaves and spices. And then we have our Moringa Bar, which is the green one. And Moringa is a super plant, a super tree whose leaves have incredible benefits and a very unique taste. And within these 6 flavors, we have different inclusions. So for example, our dark chocolate can be paired with sea salt, almonds, coconut, and it's the same with our milk chocolates as well. And even our Moringa is also paired with coconut as well.
Do you source all these ingredients locally from Ghana?
As much as possible, we source our ingredients from Ghana. Unfortunately, some ingredients, like for example, milk powder, is imported because Ghana doesn't have a dairy industry. If Ghana had a thriving dairy industry and we could get our milk powder from Ghana, we would do so in a heartbeat. So where we can source from Ghana, we source from Ghana.
And in the spirit of 57, we hope the dairy, company will be revived anytime soon.
Exactly.
In Ghana. Great. Well, thank you for sharing the so much insightful stories. But can you please tell us, everybody is have been going through such a difficult and tough and unique time since March in Ghana, I think, right? And globally, we're facing the same problem, which I think could be the first ever after in the last few hundreds of years, I think. So I was wondering how you have been striving during these tough times?
It's definitely been a challenge, and I think it's been a huge challenge for people worldwide. A lot of businesses have shut down, and so we're definitely very grateful and very blessed to still be in business and still maintain all of our staff. And we're just grateful to God for just a loyal group of customers. We're still astonished that, you know, people are still purchasing chocolate in this season, or in this season of COVID, and that has really helped. And one of the things we've tried to do is we've tried to come up with new products based upon people's latest trends. So we realized that a lot of people, to relieve stress, started baking. A lot of people started taking up baking, and so we came out during COVID. Actually, I think we launched sort of like in the center of it all. We launched our baking line of chocolate, so our chocolate chips, and that's actually been doing really well this season, and people have really enjoyed it. And it's quite ironic because we have some clients who had actually asked us to launch, you know, baking chocolate back in 2016. And they were so happy. They even got in touch with us and they were like, finally, you've launched a baking line of chocolate. So we've done that. We also released our Moringa flavor during this season as well. So we've used the opportunity. There was a period where things were quite slow.
Right.
And that actually gave us the opportunity to experiment. That gave us the opportunity to revisit our system. So there's always a silver lining in a not pleasant situation. And for us, how we made the most of, you know, business slowing down is we were able to sort of step back and look at, you know, our systems and look at, and actually it also gave us time to also be more creative.
Right.
So it gave us time to see how we can, you know, be more efficient and effective in this season. And it also gave us time to experiment, create. So we've come up with a lot of things actually in this season that we'll be gradually releasing, hopefully in 2021 as well.
I was also very touched to see the gift set you released.
Yes.
Adding this like message for mug cup as well on the side.
Yes. So one of our themes about 57 is where we like to promote revolutionaries and especially Africans and Black people who have had an impact on the continent and worldwide. And so for our holiday gift set, we've partnered with an excellent artist who does painting. And she actually helped us to design our mugs, and we picked out different inspirational quotes from various people such as Nelson Mandela, to Thomas Sankara, to Alice Walker, who is also an author, to Chinua Achebe. And we just wanted to encourage people during this time and do it the best way we know how, by, you know, promoting Africa and culture.
So it's actually the original mug cup that you designed together with that person that you just mentioned, the designer.
Yes. So Senna we spoke with Senna and we brainstormed. We told her what we were looking for, and she came up. We told her the designs, and so it was a collective effort. And we brainstormed to come up with the mugs that we launched.
That's a beautiful, beautiful story. I was really actually touched by a few messages that you have posted on Instagram, which is encouraging not only your Black folks, but also anybody actually on the group who are experiencing this hard time and don't really are facing the anxiety, being nervous and thinking about the future, what would happen next. But, you know, people before us have gone through many difficult times, tough times. From them, we can learn a lot to move ahead, right?
Yes.
Great. So talking about move ahead, I don't want to, take too much time of yours. So can we wrap up our talk by hearing your vision for the future?
So our vision for the future is we definitely want to expand. We want to be what we want to be a global African chocolate brand. So not only that when people think African chocolate, they think 57, but when people think chocolate in general, they think 57. And we want to position Ghana through 57 on the world chocolate map. We want to build a state-of-the-art factory where people can come and experience chocolate, can come and learn the process, can come and even learn the history of chocolate in Africa as well, because Africa has its own history regarding chocolate as well, and how cocoa has developed over the years. And that's something we really want to do, and we're gradually working towards that. We're gradually expanding, and so that's our vision over the course of time.
I hope that would come true very, very soon. And I